Rain slides down the glass, and the city blurs into a theater. Your pulse doesn't answer the woman outside. It answers the echo you cast inside the mirror. In Lacan's terms, you fasten to an image promising wholeness. You chase your outline. You don't fall for her. You fall for the clarity you think she will complete. You feel chosen. You forget to pick. The stage brightens, and your boundaries dim. You want a clean script where desire is returned on cue. Under specific incentives, people feed that hope with curated signals. The attention economy edits a persona, crops flaws, and serves highlight reels as destiny. You mistake being chosen for being understood. Access isn't intimacy. Kierkegaard calls it the aesthetic chase. Fascination without character, pursuit without vows. A person does not hunt you. You are hunted by projection. This is seduction psychology at scale. Notice the pattern in your body, the freeze before a message, the surge after a like, the relief when silence breaks. That rhythm is leverage. Own the metronome. Stop blaming the song. Own the tempo you obey. Choose selection over pursuit. Choose standards over improvisation. When you hold the line, the mirror loses teeth. You step off the stage and into weather less theatrical, more real. To master desire, you must see how the reflection was installed. Start with Lacan. The imaginary is the mirror where you first stitched an outline. The symbolic is the language and roles that name you. The real is what refuses capture. In this map of Lacan's desire, the mirror stage installs a taste for coherence. You chase not the person but the image that seems to seal a crack, the little lure objet petit a that keeps pursuit alive. The wish to be recognized by the other makes you submit to a script because the script promises wholeness. Remember the mask and the chessboard. Positions move, faces change, the rules remain. Jung adds a caution. The anima is an inner image, not the woman in front of you. When the image fuses with her face, the projection begins to direct selection. You mistake resonance for reality. You confuse a psychic mirror with a living subject. Individuation demands you separate the image from the person and stand still inside yourself. No obligation binds you to obey a picture you painted. Under specific incentives, appearances govern power, as Machiavelli observed. Bios, titles, and follow accounts function as symbolic badges that tilt dating dynamics before a word is spoken. Algorithms train your attention economy to prize spectacle, while boundaries keep your center from being rented out. You think validation is proof. It is only leverage. Practice masculine sovereignty. Choose based on conduct, context, and pacing, not on the glow of status light. Knowing the accurate map exposes the trap. The bait is not her. It is the shine you poured onto her image. In Lacan's desire, Lac hums like a low engine, and the little lure objet petite glitters just out of reach. A curated glance, a delayed reply, a coy boundary that feels like velvet armor. The reflection sharpens, and you move. You mistake being chased for being chosen. Under specific incentives, some people learn to float the image while withholding the person. The mirror offers coherence. You pay with attention, time, and self-command surrendered to a script you did not write. This is seduction psychology, scaled by platforms and polished daily. Behavioral economics supplies the mechanism. Intermittent rewards. A warm burst, then a winter of silence. A breadcrumb, then a banquet of maybes. The attention economy weaponizes this rhythm, and dating dynamics translate it into nearly exclusive, not ready, keep trying. You read scarcity as proof of value. You confuse effort with worth. Follow accounts become symbolic badges. Photo angles become imaginary amplification. Some people are not malicious. They respond to incentives that reward spectacle. Nietzsche warns that the will loves resistance because resistance flatters strength. So you forge your own chains and call it pursuit. Cool, hot cycling feels like war. You feel heroic while yielding ground. Set boundaries that price your time. Replace pursuit with selection. Track conduct, not performance. Let silence stay silent. If no invitation arrives, stand still. If standards break, exit. Predators patrol where prey returns. Stop returning to the same clearing. You are not hunted by fate. You are auditioning for a role that extracts you. If the mirror is bait, why do you offer yourself as the hook? Consent hides in small gestures. You curate her in your mind, sharpen edges, polish light, then forget your hand made the shine. In Lacan's account of desire, you chase an ego ideal reflected by your imaginary. The stage is inside you. The outline is yours. The glow is yours. You don't fall for her as she is. You fall for the role you scripted beside her. When you pedestalize, you audition. Call it projection or self-hypnosis. The cost is agency. Each frame you export erodes masculine sovereignty. You are not powerless. You are complicit. Kierkegaard would say, the self is a relation relating itself to itself. Consent begins there. You pick the angle, melody, and timing of replies that stoke the attention economy in your chest. You mistake being stirred for being called. You imagine salvation in healing her and turn uncertainty into a mission. That is the savior fantasy wearing a mask. Individuation starts when you measure conduct, not chemistry, when you grade your boundaries before judging hers. Standards aren't a cage, they're a door you keep the key to. Jung warns that the shadow you disown returns dressed as destiny. If you refuse to see neediness, it appears as fate. Deny envy, it glitters on her profile, and you name it love. Withdraw the lighting crew fully. Rewrite the contract. No pedestal, no rescue, no debt. Select, don't chase. Pace, don't plead. You are allowed to let silence stay. You may end the scene mid-act. Responsibility is not blame, it is authorship. Owning the projection frees you to disentangle attraction from addiction. Desire heats quickly when signals arrive clean and bright, but heat without spacing warps metal. You want closeness. You default to capture. Demand tries to devour the gap where attraction breathes. You send more, explain more, reassure more. Temperature climbs past usefulness. In Lacan's desire, lack sits beside each wish. Remove the interval and you kill the motion that pulls you forward. You think delivery is devotion. It reads as dependence. You mistake being chosen for being understood. Boundaries are not ice, they are oxygen. Consider the forge. Steel glows, meets water, and returns to flame. Strength comes from alternation, not frenzy. So, with courtship, contact, pause, resume. Algorithms flatten rhythm and reward overexposure. The attention economy confuses performance with proof. Over-texting, rapid escalation, and performative vulnerability smother curiosity. You are not a broadcast, you are a man with standards. In chess, space beats spectacle. Rushed attacks collapse because pieces trip over each other. In dating dynamics, spacing is survival. Signals that spark attraction, availability, warmth, glimpses of purpose become chloroform when fused with fantasy. Selection beats pursuit because it preserves oxygen. Style, as Nietzsche frames it, is discipline made visible. How you time replies, how you end the evening, how you hold a no. You mistake being available for being owned. You correct by aligning conduct with values, not with appetite. Choose pace over pressure. Keep erotic distance on purpose. Let curiosity earn access. Hold the line when tension rises. To keep desire alive, you must stomach the cost of distance. Clear sight bills you in silence. When you stop performing, the room cools. Some will call it distance, others a flaw. You decline the stage, and the spotlight looks like virtue leaving. It isn't. You are crossing from image to structure, from applause to standards. In Lacan's terms, you traverse the fantasy. You refuse to feed the loop selling you coherence for a fee. The first cost is quiet, hard, clean, calm. The second is being misunderstood. You will be told you changed. You did. You stopped paying attention and started paying with discipline. Friends who love spectacle over substance may treat restraint as weakness. Let them. Kierkegaard points inward. You rebuild where no audience stands. The Stoics train indifference to ridicule. Scorn is weather, not law. Remember monasteries that rejected spectacle and cynics who welcomed mockery to regain freedom. They chose high ground, not center stage. Expect the body to protest. Dopamine wants the ping. Habit wants the mask. You mistake being noisy for being alive. Breathe. Establish boundaries that anchor masculine sovereignty. Fewer apps, slower replies, deliberate rituals. In the attention economy, stillness is rebellion. In dating dynamics, quiet exits end false contracts. Individuation requires you to prefer truth over proof, reality over reflection. You are allowed to leave mid-scene, to choose craft over clout, to walk alone and remain unbroken. Hold retreat like a commander who knows the terrain makes victory. Endure the jokes, decline the bait. Let the gap widen until you hear yourself think. Enduring the gap opens the door to a different center of gravity. Start with attention. Schedule deep work blocks, guard mornings, and set no audience days where you create without posting. Write a boundary script for invitations, late texts, and rushed escalation. In Lacan's desire, anchoring happens through chosen signifiers. Name your non-negotiables and let language carry them. A fixed bedtime, a training hour, a weekly audit. These are pegs in the symbolic order. You aren't resisting women, you are resisting drift. You stop renting your focus to platforms. In the forge of routine, your impulses learn their place. Practice Aristotle's lesson. Character is built by repetition. Stack small vows, return calls within daylight hours. Date deliberately. Leave while goodwill is high. Slow courting preserves oxygen in dating dynamics. You mistake being pursued for being prepared. You correct by pacing. You mistake chemistry for compatibility. You correct by testing context. The attention economy rewards spectacle, so refuse it. Fewer selfies, more substance. Choose selection over pursuit. Sit on your throne of time, rule access with calm gates. Style is discipline made visible. Keep your craft above clout, always. Individuation is not isolation, it is integration. Jung's point is simple. Carry your anima inside so you don't project it onto strangers. Draft a one-page standard for relationships, communication, cadence, conflict rules, boundaries around work and rest. Review it quarterly. You mistake urgency for depth. You correct by measure. You mistake silence for rejection. You correct by patience. This is masculine sovereignty. You govern appetite, tempo, and terms. Once centered, you can meet women as subjects, not screens. Dim the stage lights and meet a person. She is not your screen, and you are not her audience. In Lacan's account, the other resists your projection. Reality is particular, unscripted, alive. You slow the reflex to idealize. Name what you want, hear what she wants, allow difference without punishment. Practice secure pacing over spectacle. Boundaries are not distance, they are clarity. You mistake being intensely moved for being truly met. Check conduct, context, and continuity. If words rise while actions fall, you step back. In the attention economy, restraint protects sight. You choose presence over performance. This is Lacan's desire disciplined. Respect the gap that keeps perception honest. History leaves hints. Letters between equals planned work, not worship. Salons honored dialogue over devotion. State intentions plainly, move deliberately, and let compatibility outrank chemistry. Practice individuation by keeping ideals and anima inside, rather than projecting them onto strangers. Guard masculine sovereignty with selection over pursuit, presence over tests, and boundaries. Aristotle frames friendship as a shared virtue in action, judged by deeds rather than displays. Choose a pace that fits your craft. In dating dynamics, prefer proof over hype. When friction arrives, speak plainly, calmly, or part with grace. With the screen gone, you can vow to a mission larger than any mirror. Swear loyalty to the work that outlives you. Aristotle reminds you, flourishing is activity shaped by virtue, not applause. Bind your days to builders' habits: dawn craft block, evening shutdown. Weekly review, naming where you stood firm and where you bent. You mistake being busy for being built. Prune noise. Elevate conduct over commentary. Choose a worthy burden and carry it without witnesses. Center the self that orders the house. Jung frames individuation as the alignment of parts around a living core. Guard masculine sovereignty with gates on time, energy, and attention. Draft courtship principles: clarity first, pacing before intensity, exits without drama. You mistake chemistry for charter. Write the charter and let desire fit inside it. Keep the anima in your workshop. Meet partners as subjects, not screens. In Lacan's desire, signifiers lay rails. Choose them with care. Name what you serve, what you forbid, and what you will not chase. Let language hold the line when appetite surges. You mistake impulse for order. Anchor appetite beneath names you respect. Style is discipline made visible. Nietzsche calls it the form of your life, refusing clout chasing, holding silence, ending the night on purpose. Run quarterly audits of standards, repair drift fast. On the forge of repetition, your throne hardens. Craft over clout, selection over pursuit. Seal the vow. You live as author, not audience. Mission. First, everything else arranged around it and kept unwavering.